Hey everyone, I'm Andrew from Blu Hat Bookkeeping. If you are playing daily fantasy sports on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other platform, you might be making some serious cash. But how much of that money are you actually keeping after taxes?
The IRS has 3 ways to classify DFS winnings: gambling, hobby, or business. And where you fall determines whether you maximize your tax benefits or end up paying more than you should. Today, we're breaking it down so you can take control, keep more of your winnings, and avoid a surprise tax bill. Let's get into it. When it comes to your DFS winnings, the IRS puts you into one of 3 categories. 1. Gambling income. 2. Hobby income. 3. Business income. Each category affects how much you pay in taxes, or how much you can legally deduct. Now let's talk about the gray area of DFS taxation. In 2020, the IRS released 2 memoranda addressing the tax treatment of DFS. These memos indicate that the IRS views DFS entry fees as wagers, making them subject to gambling tax regulations. If the IRS classifies your DFS activity as gambling, here's what happens. 1. All winnings must be reported as other income on Form 1040 Schedule. 2. Losses can be deducted, but only if you itemize your deductions Schedule A. 3. No deductions for entry fees if you take the standard deduction. If you can only deduct losses up to your winnings, are you really maximizing your tax benefits? That's why it's important to understand the other 2 categories, because they determine whether you can actually offset DFS losses and reduce your taxable income. Here's where a lot of DFS players get caught off guard. If the IRS decides your DFS activity is a hobby, you have to report every dollar of winnings. But guess what? You cannot deduct any expenses. That means no deductions for entry fees, software, research tools, or anything else. How do you know if DFS is a hobby? 1. You play DFS occasionally for fun. 2. You don't track DFS like a business. 3. You haven't made a consistent profit over the years. 4. You don't depend on DFS income. Imagine you win $5,000 playing DFS, but spend $7,000 on entry fees. If DFS is classified as a hobby, you still owe taxes on the full $5,000, but you can't deduct the $7,000 in losses. Sounds unfair, it is. But there's a way to avoid this, and that's where treating DFS as a business comes in. If you play DFS regularly, track your results, and treat it like a business, the IRS may allow you to file your winnings as business income. And this is where things get interesting. 1. You report winnings as business income on Schedule C. 2. You can deduct all legitimate expenses, entry fees, software, internet, research. 3. If you have more losses than winnings, you can offset other income. Yes, that means if you spend $70,000 on DFS, but only win $50,000, you could report a $20 loss that reduces your taxable income legally. Before you get too excited, there's one big rule you need to know. The IRS expects a business to show a profit in at least 3 out of 5 years. If you keep reporting losses, they might say, hey, this is just a hobby, and disallow all your deductions. Keep records of winnings and expenses. Show a consistent effort to make a profit. Separate DFS money from personal finances. Invest in tools, research, and strategy. Final takeaways. First, if you're a casual player or hobbyist, you report your winnings as other income, but you can't deduct any losses. You'll file this using Form 1040, Schedule 1. Next, if the IRS classifies your DFS activity as gambling, you still report winnings as other income, but you can deduct losses, but only if you itemize deductions. That means filing Form 1040 with Schedule A. Finally, if you're a professional DFS player, you report your winnings as business income. The best part? You can deduct all related expenses, everything from entry fees to training. You'll file this under Form 1040 with Schedule C. Alright, let's wrap this up. 1. If DFS is a hobby, you can't deduct expenses. 2. If DFS is gambling, losses are only deductible up to winnings. 3. If DFS is a business, you can deduct all expenses and offset income. Still not sure where you fall? Don't let the IRS decide for you. Book a free consultation with Blu Hat Bookkeeping to structure your DFS winnings in the most tax-efficient way. Click the link below, hit subscribe, and let's start winning not just in DFS, but on your tax return too. See you in the next video.